Hi Music Box friends, we have a request for another Sopranino lesson. So I hope that you've already seen our lesson number 1 for Sopranino, which really discusses how I use that in the classroom. I just think it's such a wonderful instrument for your teacher toolbox, and I've got it with me every class I teach, whether it's for little hand drums or the Orff instruments. Now, if it is for the Orff instruments, you need to know the pentatonic scales. So I would like for you to practice those by just taking a rhyme, and certainly that will help you with your tonguing and give your improvisation a little bit more structure, especially as you're just learning. So I'll take peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold, peas porridge in the pot, 9 days old. So we're going to do that tonguing. Do 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 do. So for C pentatonic, we already had reviewed in our first lesson that it's so E, C. So you have those 3 notes, E, D, and C. You have high G, and just like the low A, if you crack the thumb, you'll have high A. And then our big ending note is the high C. Looks just like the low C, except that I have moved my thumb to give it a half hole, half space, maybe even a little bit less than that, and blow hard. So I'm thinking peas porridge hot as I'm improvising on those notes in C pentatonic, any of those 5 notes, but I'm going to aim to end that song on the high C. That's going to be the signal to the children to know to stop playing. Now, I had a teacher say, but you always do this little fancy ending. So what I'm doing there is the G, the A, the B, and the high C. So here's the whole rhyme. So it just gives it an extra little fun punch, but you don't have to do that. You can just do that high C, and that'll be a great signal for the students. Okay, now we have certainly some wonderful songs in F pentatonic, and if you have your Orff instrument set up in F, again, it's nice to have a little time for free play. So this is your F. So I've got just like D, if you're making your D, and pick up the index finger, okay? So the thumb is all the way down in the back, and you've got, there's the D, now you're gonna pick up the index finger to have F. So F, D, C would be great notes to play in the key of F. Those 3 notes, of course, you want to punch up to that high F. Okay, now I'm going to tell you right now, if I were you, I would keep this Sopranino in your car, especially if you have family at home or pets. No one wants to hear you practicing your Sopranino in the house, okay? This is not pleasant. So keep it in your car when you're all by yourself. If you get home, you know, just stay in the garage a little bit longer and practice your Sopranino a bit, because getting to that high F, it's a little bit painful at the beginning. So we're going to go from high F, or low F, to the high F. Okay, so there you go. Take a good look at that to get to that high F. These 2 fingers are now up, okay? So here's F, high F. So you have to really practice that to punch that out on that high F, and that's a little bit tricky. So we talked about the F going to low D and low C, but you can certainly go higher. We had the G and the A already when you worked on C pentatonic. So peas porridge hot going a little bit higher. Okay, you can also use that high C. So that's the key of F. Now, if your Orff instruments are in the key of G, you're going to start just one finger all by itself to be on that high G. You already know it. You used it in the C pentatonic. The trick here, G, A, B, and the high C. And the trick here is really going to that high G. Again, I'm recommending spare your family, your pets. Just do this when you're by yourself, or go get in a closet or something, because it's not pretty at the beginning. So you're going to go from low G to high G. Okay, there you go with that fingering for the high G. That's what you're going to want to punch at the end. So I'm going to take my peas porridge hot. I'm going to use G. Again, I could even set up the Orff instruments in G and look at what notes to remind myself. If you have an alto recorder book, that'll help refresh the, what the fingering is for the names of the notes when you look at your Orff instruments. So we have G, A, B, the high D and E. And there's that high G to punch out. All right, I hope that helps with those 3 pentatonic scales, C, F, and G. Happy toodles.